Well, kids, when you get older, you start to play a much more extensive version of the what-if game. When you're young, you can take a lot of chances with little consequences because you can always start over. But as you approach 30, you start to realize that everything you do can have an effect on what seems like the ever-diminishing amount of life you have left. You don't randomly hop on a bus to Seattle. You don't ignore things like a 401k or an IRA. But most importantly, you don't just up and quit your job for idealistic purposes, at least not without a plan.
All I'm saying is that Ted really needs to look at his options.
And all I'm saying is that Ted thinks too much already.
But
Ted can't just quit his job willy-nilly and hope for the best. He has to have a plan, some sort of safety net.
Yeah, just quitting your job is just plain crazy.
Well, that's just, what are you guys talking about? I mean, Ted is an accomplished architect. If he wanted to, he could go find a job anywhere in the city.
Just because they want Ted to work on shopping malls in Queens instead of high-rises in the big city doesn't mean that he's compromising any of his ideals.
Yeah, it could be like a temporary thing, you know, like a project for a couple of years where Ted puts his time in on this so that he can have his pick of the litter down the line.
I mean, Marshall isn't going to get to fight every case he wants every day of his life, so he takes on the less attractive ones in order to fight the cases that he wants some days.
And even if it's not every day, well, at least he has the security of knowing that he's still working.
I think Marshall and Lily...
No, Ted, you should be working freelance. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can live on your own, live life by your own rules, as you see fit.
I don't know if that really...
That's just stupid, Barney. People don't actually live like that. I know they say that there are people that do, but that's just a trick that people without jobs pull on you.
So they can take your jobs.
Exactly.
Hogwash. Ted should be out there making his own decisions, living life by his own set of rules, and taking what comes. Am I right, Ted?
I don't know if that's...
Sure I'm right. I could just picture it now.
Now, kids, your Uncle Barney always had a bit of a different take on our lives than the way things actually were. His visions would sometimes lack a certain depth to them. In thinking about my possible future that day, and by extension his own, Barney drew us a perfect, picture-perfect world of years to come.
And you wanted to design shopping malls for a living.
I don't know what I was ever thinking. These last 5 years have been the best of my life, Barney.
And they're only going to get better, my friend.
Do you ever wonder what might have been, though, if I'd taken that job?
What? So you could be living out in rural New York with Marshall and Lily, withering away to the next episode of America's Biggest Loser, then going to see the Michelson baby down the street? I don't think so. I think our lives are just fine.
Yeah, you're right. I love my life now. I don't have a steady job, a girlfriend, or a savings account, but I really enjoy being a bartender. I get to meet new people all the time, and I get to drink excessively and indiscriminately.
And sleep with women excessively and indiscriminately. Hi, bud.
You know, I was out at Marshall and Lily's last week, and they had all this food and this snooty, expensive wine, and they were going on and on about some action thriller they'd seen the other week called Mr. Brooks, and how it was full of murder and mystery and horror. They really thought it was great, and that I should just check it out. But I just can't find the time to do the little things like that anymore, you know?
No, I'm sorry, Ted. All I heard was strong shot. And why haven't you poured that girl a drink yet?
All right, Barney. My friend down there noticed that you needed a drink. I was wondering, though, instead, would you maybe be interested in coming back to my place in an hour and meeting us?
Oh, what the hell, Ted? She's leaving.
Don't worry, I took care of it. She's going to get a friend and meet us back at my place in an hour.
My man, high five. You know, life is pretty damn good. And I'd say life is pretty damn good and we'd all be happy.
You can be a real idiot sometimes, you know, Barney.
Yeah, who would want such a vapid and shallow existence anyway? I think Ted wants more.
You guys, I think I can fend for myself here, especially against Barney. And as for your vision of our future,
You mean my amazing vision of our future?
as for your amazing vision of our future, I don't know that that's really the way things would go down.
Oh, really, Ted? Well, how do you see it? Do you not see us spending time together in the top?
I don't know, Barney. I see us spending time together, just not in the way you imagined it.
Now, kids, your Uncle Barney always had a way of looking at the world that was very, I don't know how to say it, one-dimensional, I guess. He never really saw things the way they were, just the way he thought they should be.
And you wanted to design shopping malls for a living. Shopping malls.
I don't know what I was ever thinking quitting that job. These last 5 years, it felt like the previous 30 combined.
They're only gonna get better, my friend.
I don't know. I spent all my time wondering about what might have been if I'd kept that job. Maybe I'd have met the woman of my dreams, had children, a whole different life that I could look back and reflect on every week.
What? So you'd be living out in rural New York with Marshall and Lily, withering away to the newest episode of America's Biggest Loser, then going to see the Michelson's new baby down the street? I don't think so. I think our lives turned out just fine.
Yeah, Barney, you're right. Our lives are great. I love it. I don't have a steady job. I barely scrape by bartending. I don't have a girlfriend or anyone of any meaning in my life outside of you. My savings account costs me more than it holds every month, and all I seem to do is drink excessively and indiscriminately.
And sleep with women excessively and indiscriminately. High five.
I was over for dinner with Marshall and Lily last week. It was really nice. They had this meal that consisted of more than one course and this nice Spanish wine I'd never tried before. I even only had one glass of it. Then we watched this movie called This Is England. I'd gotten it on my Netflix last week. It's so nice to watch a movie that I actually want to talk about with people other than just doing it at home, alone with the lights still on. I haven't actually made it to my bed in over 3 months, Barney. Over 3 months.
I'm sorry, Ted. All I got was a strong shot. And why haven't you poured that woman a drink yet?
All right, Barney. Sorry, sir. My friend seems to think you're an old pal of ours from college. Just take this shot, wave at him, and it'll be all right.
What the hell, Ted? She's leaving?
Don't worry about it, Barney. I told her to get a friend and come back to my place. Why don't we go back and have a drink there now? You can take it and fall asleep on the couch.
Oh, man. High five. You know, life is pretty damn good. I can't believe you, Ted. I would never, ever mistake a man for a minx.
I don't know, Barney. I've seen some of the girls you take home.
But that is just ludicrous. I have never in my life gone below a 7. Never.
Settle out, Barney. I may have been overly harsh in my prediction of our future, but I think it's probably a good idea for me not to quit my job.
Now you're talking some sense, Ted. You'll see. Your job will turn out just great, and then your life will be perfect, just like all of ours.
I mean, you see that girl out there? You see her? That's got to be a 9. At least, probably a 9.5. You see her?
She's maybe a 6.5, Barney. Maybe.
That's 6.5. What are you talking about? We are looking at a verifiable 8.5. Am I right, Marshall?
I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go with Ted on this one.
Lily?
As wrong as I think this is, she's no higher than a 7. Sorry, Barney.
Oh, all right, that is it. I'm going to find a 9, and I'm going to sleep with her right now. No, better yet, a 10. You heard me, a 10. I'm going to find a 10, and I'm going to sleep with her tonight.
And in the end, kids, we were all right. I stayed at my job, I eventually met your mother, and here we are today. Barney was even right, at least about that night.